April 21st, 2017. A cold, silent night in rural Alabama. I'm standing in a pitch-black field, blindfolded, one hand on the shoulder of the man in front of me. A ritual meant to symbolize so-called brotherhood. But this isn't just any gathering. This is an initiation into one of America's oldest extremist groups, and what they don't know is that one of the men standing among them tonight is an undercover FBI agent. His name is Scott Payne. 6'4", 260 pounds, covered in tattoos. He's been undercover with drug dealers, arms traffickers, and violent gangs. He has brought down neo-Nazis, biker clubs, child predators, and criminals who wanted to tear America apart. Tonight, he's deep inside a ritual he was never meant to survive. But Scott Payne's story starts long before the FBI. At 14 years old, he spiraled into a dark place, experimenting with disturbing imagery, pretending to be possessed, and playing with things he didn't understand. One night, something terrified him so deeply that he turned his life around. He had no idea that decades later, he would be face to face with real darkness, not supernatural, but human. In 1998, Scott joins the FBI. By 2002, he enters one of the toughest elite programs in federal law enforcement, the undercover school at Quantico. He trains with legends like Joe Pistone, the real Donnie Brasco. He learns to lie convincingly, think under pressure, and become someone else entirely. Most agents struggle with the sleep deprivation, psychological stress, and non-stop roleplay. But Scott thrives in it. His first major assignment, infiltrate the Outlaws Motorcycle Club, one of the most violent biker gangs in America. Scott becomes Tex, a whiskey-drinking, Harley-riding, bar-fighting outlaw. He forms real friendships, the kind that make undercover work so painful. Men who trust him, not knowing the truth.
I'll certainly drink to that.
For 18 months, Scott lives their life. He eats with them, rides with them, fights with them, and eventually, he betrays them. A major FBI takedown brings the entire operation to an end. Scott's closest friend calls him one last time, worried about rumors of arrests. Their final words, "I love you, brother. I love you too." And then the line goes silent. Scott's next target is a different extremist circle. He contacts them through a public hotline. He arrives at a hidden gathering in the backwoods, guarded by armed men. He learns their rituals, their rules, their symbols, and during a nighttime ceremony, he suddenly realizes he has been fully initiated into their organization. But the FBI soon faces something even more dangerous. A new extremist movement begins emerging online. Younger, more radical, more violent. A group called the Base. Their belief system is built around accelerationism, the idea of triggering chaos and societal collapse through violence. They praise mass shooters. They fantasize about attacks. They plan for a civil war. Scott applies to join the Base under the codename Pale Horse. They test him for days. Background, ideology, military skills, loyalty. One mistake, and he's dead. Eventually, he's cleared. They invite him to an in-person vetting session in Georgia. At the meeting, one of the members scans Scott with a strange device, a wand that detects electronic signals. It starts beeping violently. It's picking up the FBI tracker hidden in Scott's truck. One wrong breath, and the mission ends. But by sheer luck, the members assume the device is detecting nearby power lines. Scott survives by inches. Soon after, Scott attends a secret 3-day training camp in the woods. Combat drills, weapons practice, survival training. But at night, it turns darker. Members burn books, burn flags, chant extremist slogans, and engage in disturbing rituals intended to bind loyalty. Scott must blend in without crossing moral lines. One wrong move exposes him. One wrong move ends his life. 2 months later, the group begins planning something far worse. A targeted attack on 2 local activists. Scott's role? To enter the house with the group and take part in the killing. They plan everything, disguises, escape routes, even how to avoid leaving DNA. Scott knows the clock is ticking. At the same time, another chapter of the group is planning a violent attack at a public rally. An event that could leave dozens dead. The FBI rushes into action. The next days become a frenzy. Coordinating teams, preparing SWAT, executing warrants. January 2020. Scott is driving one of the Group S leaders when he pretends his truck is malfunctioning. The pre-planned trigger. Suddenly, armored vehicles roll over the hill. SWAT teams flood the road. Scott jumps into another agent's truck. The arrests begin. In 2021, after 17 years of undercover operations, Scott Payne retires. At his ceremony, surrounded by agents, friends, and family, the city declares
Scott.
June 30th
Well-deserved.
as Scott Payne
Thank
Day,
you, Director.
a recognition of a man who walked into America's darkest underworld and walked back out alive. This is the true story of an undercover agent who risked everything to stop violence before it reached innocent people. A story of deception, courage, sacrifice, and the hidden battles fought to keep society safe.